1. Let's ask that word of wisdom in Yeshua's precious name. Heavenly Father, open eyes and open ears. We're going to pick up our study in Hadi Byram, the book of Deuteronomy, Hadi Byram. These be the words. And we're going to pick it up with chapter 16. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God. That's Yahweh thy Elohim. For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of the land out of Egypt by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice the Passover unto the Lord thy God of the flock and the herd in the place which the Lord shall choose to place his name there. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt in all of the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coasts 7 days, neither shall there anything of the flesh which thou shalt sacrifice on the first day at evening remain all night until the morning. Thou mayest not sacrifice the Passover within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, but at the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, the place to place his name in. There thou shalt sacrifice the Passover at evening, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth out of Egypt. And thou shalt roast and eat it in the place which the Lord thy God shall choose, and thou shalt turn in the morning and go into thy tents. 6 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread. And on the 7th day shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord thy God. Thou shalt do no work therein. 7 weeks shalt thou number unto thee, beginning to number the 7 weeks from such times as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. And thou shalt keep the feast of weeks unto the Lord thy God, with the tribute of a freewill offering of thy hand, which thou shalt give unto the Lord thy God according as the Lord thy God hath blessed thee. And thou shalt rejoice before the Lord thy God, thou and thy sons, and thy daughters, and thy manservants, and thy maidservants, and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are among you, in the place which the Lord thy God hath chosen to place his name there. We're to take care of the widows, the orphans. Those are the people that we are to take care of. The handicapped, those we are to take care of. And thou shalt remember that thou was a bondman in Egypt, and thou shalt observe and do these statutes. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days, after that thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine. And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy sons and thy daughters and thy manservant and thy maidservants and the Levi, the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Lord thy God in the place which the Lord shall choose, because the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all of thy increase and in all of the works of thy hand. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all the males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacle, and they shall appear before the Lord empty. And they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Verse 17. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord thy God, which he hath given thee. If you don't have anything, then you don't owe any tithes. Preacher, well, listen, if you're an old folk and you're living on a fixed income, you don't owe no tithes on that. That's not income. That's your living. God does not expect you to go without medicine or food. Don't let a preacher hornswaggle you into giving them money. Verse 18, judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. Verse 19, thou shalt not wrestle judgment, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift, for a gift blindeth the eyes of the wise, and pervert the words of the righteous. That which is altogether just shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Verse 21, thou shalt not plant thee a grove of any trees near the altar of the Lord thy God, which thou shalt make thee. You know what they did in the groves? That's where let's just go on. Neither shalt thou set thee up images which the Lord thy God hateth. Chapter 17. Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep, wherein is blemish, or any ill-favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord thy God. If there be found among you within any of thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, man or woman, that hath wrought wickedness in the sight of the Lord thy God, in transgressing his covenant, and hath gone and served other gods and worshipped them, either the sun, the moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have not commanded, and it be told thee, and thou hast heard of it, and inquired diligently, behold, it be true, and the thing certain, that such abomination is wrought in Israel, then shalt thou bring forth the man or that woman which hath committed that wicked thing unto thy gates, even that man or that woman, and shall stone them with stones till they die. We all was under a death sentence when Jesus Christ died for us. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses shall he that is worthy of death be put to death, but at the mouth of 1 witness he shall not be put to death. The hands of the witness shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterward the hands of all the people. So thou shalt put the evil away from among you. If there arise a matter too hard for thee in judgment, between blood and blood, between plea and plea, between stroke and stroke, being matters of controversy within thy gates, then thou shalt arise and get thee up into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt come unto the priest, the Levites, and unto the judges that shall be in those days, and inquire, and they shall show thee the sentence of judgment. And thou shalt do according to the sentence which they of that place, which the Lord shall choose, shall show thee, and thou shalt observe to do according to all that they inform thee, according to the sentence of the law, which they shall teach thee, and according to the judgments which they shall tell thee, thou shalt do. Thou shalt not decline from the sentence which they shall show thee, to the right hand or to the left. And the man that will do presumptuously and will not hearken unto the priest that standeth to minister there before the Lord thy God, or unto the judge, even that man shall die, and thou shalt put away evil from Israel. And all of the people shall hear and fear, and do no more presumptuously. People want to know why there's so much evil in here. Is because we did not listen to God to fulfill His law. If we'd fulfill the law, these crackerheads doing all of this stuff, they'd stop all of that. Verse 14, when thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and shall possess it, and shall dwell therein, and shall say, I will set a king over me, like all the nations that are about me. Listen now, because the United States did not listen to this verse right here just a few years ago. Listen to it. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Verse 16, but he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as the Lord has said unto you, you shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. And it shall be, when he sitteth upon the throne of his kingdom, listen now, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book, out of that which is before the priest, the Levites. When the king became into the kingdom, he was to write the book of Deuteronomy in hand. If you write it by hand, you're going to remember a whole bunch of it. Verse 19, and it shall be with him, and he shall read therein in all of the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God, to keep all of the words of this law and these statutes, to do them, that his heart be not lifted up above his brethren, and that he turn not aside from the commandment of the Lord, to the right hand or to the left, to the end that he may prolong his day in his kingdom, he and his children, and in the midst of Israel. Chapter 18. Priests and Levites, all of the tribe of Levi, shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire, and his inheritance. Therefore shall they have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance. Well, if the Lord is your inheritance and the Lord owns everything, as he has said unto them, verse 3, and this shall be the priest's due from the people. I'm sorry, let's try verse 3 again. And this shall be the priest's due from the people. from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep. They shall give unto the priest the shoulder, and the two cheeks, and the maw, M-A-W. That word maw means the first stomach. The first fruits also of thy corn, of thy wine, of thine oil, and the first, and the first of the fleece of thy sheep, thou shalt give him. For the Lord thy God hath chosen him out of all of the tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons forever. And if the Levite come from any of thy gates out of all Israel where he sojourned, and come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which the Lord shall choose, then shall he minister in the name of the Lord his God, as all of his brethren the Levites do, which stand there before the Lord. They shall have like portions to eat, besides that which cometh of the sale of his patrimony. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, and thou shalt not learn to do after the abomination of these nations, there shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. A necromancer talks to the dead, or supposed to. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doeth drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God, for these nations which thou shalt possess verse 14. For these nations which thou shalt possess hearkened unto observers of times, and unto diviners. But as for thee, the Lord thy God hath not suffered thee so to do. This verse 15 of chapter 18 in my Bible has a star beside it. That means that 99.9% of all Bible scholars agree that this verse belongs to the Lord Jesus Christ. Let's read it. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Him you shall hearken. Verse 16. According to all that thou desirest of the Lord thy God in Horeb, in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not. And the Lord said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. Now this verse 18 has a star beside it. This is God speaking, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I will command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even that prophet shall die. And if thou say in thy heart, how shall we know the word which the Lord hath not spoken? Question. when a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken. But the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. Chapter 19. When the Lord thy God hath cut off the nations, whose land the Lord thy God giveth thee, and thou succeed them, and dwellest in their cities, and in their houses, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. Most Christians say, God said, do not kill. Well, that's not what he said. He said, do not commit murder. In the Hebrew, just like in the English, there's 2 words, murder and kill, and they mean different things. Let's find out what the Word of God says and not what some man says. Listen to it. Verse 3, thou shalt prepare thee a way and divide the coast of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to inherit, unto 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither. Now listen. And this is the cause of the slayer, which shall flee thither, that he may live. Whosoever killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in times past, as when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetch a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slippeth from the heave, and lighteth upon his neighbor that he die, he shall flee into one of the cities and live. Why should he live? He didn't commit murder. Lest the avenger of blood, this is verse 6, pursue the slayer while his heart is hot, and overtake him because the way is long, and he slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, insomuch as he hated him not in times past. Wherefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee. And if the Lord thy God enlarge thy coast, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all of the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers, if thou shalt keep all of these commandments, to do them which I commanded thee this day, to love the Lord thy God, and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more unto these, besides these 3, that innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee, for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if a man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and rise against him, and smite him mortally that he die, and fleeth into one of the cities, then the elders of the city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. Verse 14, thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set, of thine inheritance. Thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established. If a false witness rise up against a man, any man, to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord. before the priest and the judges which shall be in those days. And the judge shall make diligent inquisitions. And behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, then shall you do unto him as he hath thought to have done unto his brother, so thou shalt put away evil from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. Thine eye shall not pity, life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. It just means a fair sentence. Chapter 20. When thou goest out to battle against the enemy, and seest horses and chariots and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be, when you are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your heart faint, fear not, and be not tremble. Neither be ye terrified because of them. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you, to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. And the officers shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that hath builded a new house, and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in battle, and another man dedicate it. See, that's just fair and just. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard, and hath not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in battle, and another man eat of it. It's just fair. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. Just fair. And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is faint-hearted and fearful? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren heart faint as well as his heart. You don't need cowards in a combat situation. Get the cowards out of there. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it make thee answer of peace, and open unto thee, then it shall be that all of the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. And if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when the Lord thy God hath delivered it into thy hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. But the women and the little ones and the cattle, all that is in the city, even all of the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thy enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Thou shalt do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations. But of the cities of these people, which the Lord thy God doeth give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth. That's pretty hard words right there if you think about it. Verse 17, but thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites and the Amorites, the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee. The reason God wanted them to get rid of these people, number one, they were part of the Nephilim, of the fallen angels. But number two, all 5 of these groups had started child sacrifice. That's when God said, get rid of them. Once a person has a Nazi mindset, you cannot change that mindset. You just have to put a bullet in their head. Verse 18, that they teach you not to do after all of their abominations, which they have done unto their gods, so should you sin against the Lord your God. Verse 19, when thou shalt besiege a city a long time, in making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof, and by forcing an axe against it, for thou mayest eat of them. And thou shalt not cut down, for the trees of the field is a man's life, to employ them in the siege. You can't do that. Only the trees which thou knowest, that they be not trees for meat, thou shalt destroy and cut them down, and thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee until it be besieged. We'll leave it there for today. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. And I hope you got something out of it.